If we want to expect help from others, if we want to expect to receive, we have to be making sure that we're investing. There's a story, kind of an opposite story to this, and what Jesus talks about in Luke 12, and we won't turn there, but it's a story of the foolish rich man, and you're probably familiar with this, but Jesus tells a story of a man who he fills up his barns with all of his goods, and just to give you an idea here, that basically means he's got everything that he needs and more, right? He's already got all that he needs. He's got more than he needs. But he asks himself this, he says, all right, I've got everything I need. I've got more than I can ever use. What should I do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to build bigger barns. And he says this, I'm going to fill those barns up, and then I'm never going to have to work or worry again. I'm never going to have to worry about trouble, adversity, sorrow. I'm going to be set for life. Jesus says the next day he dies. Everything that he had built up, everything that he saved, was for nothing. He didn't invest it in what mattered. He didn't invest it in other people. And we can have that same temptation and that same tendency. Maybe when things are tough, when times are tight, instead of being generous, we can have this idea. Well, I'm just gonna hold on to it. I'm just gonna hold on to it because I'm too afraid to give out. I'm too afraid to be generous to others. Look, maybe it's this. I value my time too much to be a blessing to someone else. Maybe it's even just this. I'm just not comfortable opening up to people at the church. I'm not comfortable building relationships. It costs a little too much to come and be engaged and be vulnerable and get to know people. You're not investing. Guess what happens when the time of adversity is going to come? They're not going to have any dividends to draw from because you haven't taken the advice of Ecclesiastes. You haven't cast out. You haven't invested in many people. So a couple thoughts on this truth, on this advice, before we move on to the next one. What opportunities do you have to be generous?